In this video, we're going to talk about how to write an argumentative body paragraph. The article we're going to reference is Should Parents Help with Homework? And this is the article we worked on together in class. If you did not get a chance to read this article or you forgot what it's about, take a few minutes to pause the video and read it. And then you can unpause it when you're finished reading it, because it's very important to read the article well in order to remember what the information's about. That really helps paraphrasing. So as we're reading this article, our question or prompt, remember prompt is what you're going to write about, is should parents help with homework? So after you've read the article, you need to take a side. So you're either on one side or the other. And remember, you can't really be in the middle. So if it's a topic that you really don't care about, then you ask yourself, which side is going to be easier to prove? So which side has the most information in the article that makes it easier to prove? I'm going to take the no side. So remember, the first thing I need to do is I need to make a topic sentence. And a topic sentence, all you do is restate and answer the question. So remember, my question is, should parents help with homework? And all I need to do is restate and answer that. So when I say restate, what I mean is, notice how it's a question right now. I need to make it so it would end with a period, and I'm going to embed my answer into it. So I'm going to say, parents shouldn't help with homework. Now, one thing I'd like to caution about is I see a lot of people like to add because. So some people might say parents shouldn't help with homework because kids will not learn. Now, when you do that, remember the topic sentence tells us what the whole paper is going to be about. So when you do that, that forces you to write your whole paper on kids not learning, which is going to be tougher. Notice how this keeps the topic broad, because I can talk about all kinds of things of why parents shouldn't help with homework. So remember, when you restate the question, just turn that question into a statement and answer it, and that's it. Next thing I need to do is I need to find text evidence. Now, when we talked about filling out an outline in class, we said that an outline's purpose is to kind of give us a map to show us what we're going to write about. So when I'm writing on an outline, I don't necessarily have to use complete sentences, because when I write the paper, that's when I'm going to get the complete sentences. So first of all, whenever I can either quote or paraphrase, but remember, in English class, it's best to paraphrase, because paraphrase involves a higher level of thinking, and it shows me that you really understood what you read more. So for this purpose, we're going to paraphrase the whole thing. So first off, remember, before I even give any evidence, I need to give credit to the text. And remember, you should have this sheet in your interactive notebook. But in order to give credit to the text, we have the paraphrasing section, that's these, and then we have the quoting section, that's these. Remember, when you quote, the only thing different basically is you need a page number. Since we're going to be paraphrasing this, I'm going to be up in here, and I would use one of these sentence starters when I write the paper, but for now, all I'm going to do is just write down the brief information about the article. So remember, when I'm paraphrasing, there's two routes I can go. Either one, I can use the author's last name, or two, I can use the title of the text. So if we go and look for an author, remember we talked about a couple weeks ago, an author is either going to be at the top of the page, so I'm looking at the top here, underneath the title, I don't see an author there, or it's going to be at the bottom, at the very end of the article. Notice this article does not have an author listed, so that means I'm going to have to use the title. Before I use a piece of text evidence, I'm going to go back to my outline, and I'm just going to write so I'm going to write, should parents help with homework? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a piece of information in this text that proves that parents should not help with homework, because that's what side I'm on. Now when I'm paraphrasing, the good thing about paraphrasing is I can kind of twist it just a little bit to make it work for what I want it to say, because remember, I need to put this in my own words. I really want to take this information right here. I give homework to practice what they have learned, says teacher Mara Sockett. Many educators agree if students can't do the homework that's assigned, they should let the teacher know so they can get extra help they need. Remember, when I'm paraphrasing, I can paraphrase this whole paragraph. I can paraphrase as much as I want, and that's the good thing about paraphrasing. There's a lot of flexibility there. But the big thing is about paraphrasing is it needs to be in my own words. Let's go back to the article for a second. So when I'm looking at how can I put this in my own words, first of all, I give homework for students to practice what they have learned. Now, when we write a paper, our goal is to keep that paper in third person. So this is a perfect opportunity to reword this so it's in third person. So I as a teacher, so I'm going to make this plural. I want to expand this out so it covers more people. So I'm going to say teachers give homework for students so they can show what they have learned. Teachers give homework so students show what they learned. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to come up with an exclamation. Well, this is my words to try to prove that this text evidence proves my topic sentence. So I want to prove that these teachers giving students homework to show what they've learned proves that parents should not help with homework. So this is where I can either incorporate my opinion, I can incorporate my experience. Again, the trick is I'm trying to keep this in third person. So I'm going to put something like, but this allows teachers to adjust their lesson plans. So now I'm ready for another piece of text evidence. So I gave credit to the text. I'm going to go back to the article and I'm going to look for another sentence or paragraph or something that proves that parents should help with homework. I like this sentence right here. Groundbreaking study published last January. 2 university professors called the Broken Compass involvement with children's education found that kids who got extensive homework help from their parents scored worse on standardized tests than kids who managed homework on their own. I really like this sentence because there's a lot of information in this sentence that I don't really need, and it really lends itself well to paraphrasing. Remember paraphrasing, I try to pull out the key, most important ideas, and I try to put it in my own words. But I'm going to put something like, a study showed that kids completed homework on their own scored better on tests. So I just want to take a moment and check this sentence out that I wrote and notice how much we condense that down. That's the really good benefit of paraphrasing. So the next thing I need to do is I am going to explain how this piece of text evidence proves that parents should not help with homework. So I'm going to put something like, this shows that kids learn more by completing homework on their own, which will help them be more successful in life. So now that our outline is complete, our next job is we are going to type this into a paper. And remember, whenever we write, it's a work in progress. So each time I write something, my goal is to try to improve it. So I'm not going to write exactly what I have here. This is just a map. So we're going to try to improve it. Now the first sentence is parents shouldn't help with homework. That sentence is great. So we're going to keep that sentence. Parents shouldn't help with homework. Next thing I need to do is I'm going to start out with my text evidence. Now, we can't just start with should parents help with homework. This is one of these instances where I need to go back to my cheat sheet and I'm going to choose one of these sentence starters. And any of them would work. The only one I can't use is the author states because we don't have an author listed in this article. I'm just going to start up top and I'm going to put as stated in, and then I can't put title of the text. I'm going to put the actual title. So as stated in should. Now I'm going to write what I have for my paraphrase. So I'm going to go back to my outline. I'm going to put teachers give homework so students show what they have learned. And again, I'm going to reword this a little bit. I might put something like teachers assign homework so students can show what they have learned. Okay, now I'm ready for my exclamation. I need to prove how this relates to my topic sentence, how it proves my topic sentence. And here's I put, this allows teachers to adjust their lesson plans. Now, before we get started on this, remember we do have sentence starters for our exclamation too. So I'm going to choose one of these. And a lot of them would work, but there's some on here that work better than others depending on what situation we're in. I might go with this one. One can infer. So I'm going to put one can infer that teachers will use the results on homework to adjust their lesson plans. And now I'm going to add a little bit to this. Remember, writing is the process of improvement, and these exclamations, the more you do them, the better you're going to get. But I really want, this is where I'm really persuading someone. If teachers are grading that parents helped with, they will not get a clear picture of what their students really know. And remember that exclamations and text evidence, you can have more than one sentence. Just because there's only one line there doesn't mean it has to be combined or condensed to one sentence. All right, so we're going to go back to our outline. Ready for our second text evidence. I'm going to use a sentence starter. And one of the things I will recommend is changing your sentence starters up. So don't use the same one every time because eventually we're going to be looking at that, how well you can change it up. So I'm just going to go with the second one. And should parents help with homework? It said that. Okay, now we're ready for our paraphrased portion. So I'm going to go with this orange portion. Studies have shown that students who complete homework on their own score better on tests than students who had help from parents. Okay, notice how I expanded that a little bit. Still keep my own words, but add a little bit more to it because I'm trying to make this as convincing as possible. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my text evidence. Now notice this shows that is actually one of our sentence starters. I actually kind of naturally used it, so I'm good there. So I'm just going to put, this shows that students who complete homework on their own learn more, which will allow them to be more successful as adults. Okay, so now I'm finished. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color code this. So remember our goals. Restating the questions, our purple goal. I'm going to highlight it purple. Our sentence starter, as well as giving credit to the text, is green. That's our green goal, so it's going to get highlighted green. Anytime we paraphrase text evidence, that's going to be orange. Exclamations are blue. Okay, notice how we have two sentences for exclamation, so we have two sentences that are blue. Again, we have our sentence starter and our giving credit to the text, that's green. Another piece of paraphrased text, that's orange. And our last sentence is our exclamation, and that's blue.